have the opportunity to introduce Mayor Jim Brainard from the city of Carmel. Mayor Brainard is one of Indiana's longest-serving mayors, taking office in 1996. Over this time, Carmel has practically exploded in population, now ranking as the 5th largest city in Indiana. Mayor Brainard is frequently asked to speak around the world about city planning, redevelopment, and more. We are excited to have you join us today, Mayor Brainard.
I agree with Mayor Hodge said. It's so nice to see people in person and not do it virtually. We're excited. We're coming out of this pandemic, and the future for Carmel and Central Indiana is very bright. Let me tell you a story. An acquaintance of mine has been in economic development out in the Phoenix, Arizona area for a long time. Wrote a book 3 years ago. And the title of the book is When the Boomers Bail. Probably me. But his thesis is that 40%, 4 out of 10 people in the United States workforce are going to retire in the next 10 years. Well, that was 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. If anything, the pandemic has sped it up. So when I was getting out of grad school, I probably would have taken a job almost anywhere. Give me money, a job, place to go to work every day, I'm there. It's not going to be the case in the future. The best and brightest employees from all over the globe are going to say, I don't want to go there, and I don't have to because I got 10 other offers on the table. I'm going to be able to go to a place that's really a tremendous place to raise my family and spend my life, raise children, and so on. And so I look out, I don't see any mountains out there, and I don't see any oceans as much as we'd like to see those things here. And some days we see lousy weather. It's a great slide presentation I give sometimes when I'm out speaking. I have a picture of San Diego from Coronado Island, looking at the mountains and the ocean and the palm trees and the sailboats and the skyline. And I start, this is not Carmel. And I've got one of Aspen Mountain, same thing, this is not Carmel. And then I pop up a green field. Soybeans are just coming out of the ground, just flat, no trees. This is our palette. This is what we have to work with. Then I pop up a picture of the Eiffel Tower, Paris. Say they had the same set of conditions, no mountains, no oceans, and lousy weather, and they did just fine. And so if we're going to compete as a region, we're going to compete as a city, we have to invest in quality of life infrastructure. What's that mean? What does quality of life infrastructure mean? First of all, it's hard infrastructure. We got to have good roads. We got to move people safely. And yeah, I can't give a speech without talking around about, so I'll do that in a minute. But we have to move people safely, efficiently. Our roads need to be beautiful. We need to have good public transit. We need to have beautiful parks and bikeways. Carmel, by the way, is up to 250 miles of bike paths today. 1996, we had 0. The connections, Mayor Hodge mentioned, is absolutely vital to connect the entire region. That's one nice thing about being flat. It's easier to bike, especially road guys like me. The quality of life is also good schools, good public schools, good public libraries, cultural amenities, sports amenities, everything that goes towards making people feel that they can live a great life here. But we also know that great cities must be places that welcome everybody. They have to welcome people from around the world, and people come from different places, different countries, different races, different religions, and so on. All must feel welcome in a place if we're going to succeed in this region. Carmel used to be a pretty boring place. It was not particularly diverse. Today, though, almost 25% of our population is not white. And that's important to our 150 some corporate headquarters of international and national reach, that they can attract people from all over the world here for the positions that are in those companies. And the people that come here from other places know that it's a welcoming, diverse place where people from whatever background can succeed and prosper. And that's part of quality of life too, and it's absolutely vital to our success as a region and a city here in Carmel. We continue in Carmel to make the leap from a car suburb to a traditional city with all sorts of housing options. People around the globe outside the United States, they don't know what a lawnmower is because people don't have lawns. They live in apartment buildings and condos. And so many suburbs around the country or in cities like Carmel, they only build single-family housing. They don't look at condominiums and townhomes and apartments and all these things. And people come from other places. They want options. They don't want government saying, well, you're welcome to live here, but this is the only housing option we have for you. So we work hard to make certain that there are lots of different housing options. The average American still spends 2 hours a day in their automobile. How's that for quality of life? I've got a nice car, but not that nice. And so one of the things we're trying to do in our downtown area is making certain that we, through partnerships, the private sector, build places where people can live and work and play and not have to be in their car very long. Can walk most places if they choose to. It's about public health too. We know that obesity rates go down. Almost 35% of people just walk 10 minutes to and from work. We know that overweight rates go down by a similar amount if people walk 10 minutes to and from work. That's all it takes for that third. 10 minutes, morning and evening, 5 days a week, all year. So we are, and not many places like Carmel have managed to make that leap from car suburb where you have to drive everywhere you need to go to a place that has a walkable, pedestrian-friendly downtown. And that's important for a country as divided as we are in this country today. We need to design our cities so that people from different backgrounds can all come together in public meeting places, out on the street, and get to know each other better and have conversations. And a lot of that can be accomplished by city design. We also have tremendous challenges with climate. If we can design our city so that people aren't in their cars that long and they're able to walk and bike places, we've done a great thing for our environment. We also need to make sure that we design our city in such a way that when people do drive their automobiles, they're not in that car that long. Our roundabouts, for instance, move 50% more cars per hour than a stoplight. So that means we don't, remember that old song, Paving Over Paradise? Who sang that? Who was that? I can't remember. But anyway, we are building a transportation system second to none so that people can get around the community quickly and safely and efficiently. People say, why do you build so many roundabouts? Number one is safety. Our fatality rate for 100,000 people is 2 per year. The U.S. average is 14 people die in traffic accidents per 100,000 per year. We're 1/7 the U.S. average, and that's something. So when you have customers, clients from out of town, and they say, what is with this city building all these circles? Tell them that. Tell them it's about safety. Tell them it's also about saving millions of gallons of fuel per year because you're not starting from a dead stop at a stoplight. Tell them it's about moving 50% more cars per hour back to the paving over paradise. So many cities just widen the streets to get more cars through the green cycle of light. Or if you're moving 50% more cars to the intersection, you don't have to do that. You can take some of that street like we're doing out here in Rangeline Road. We actually call it a road diet. Put a beautiful median down the middle and open 5 lanes to 2 lanes, and trip times aren't increasing. And it's a lot more pedestrian friendly because people are driving slower as well on those more narrow streets. There are public-private partnerships work. We know that. Taking the tax increase from the new development, using it for infrastructure to put those cars underground. We're trying to design our city for people, not cars. We had some good news yesterday. Money Magazine does a contest every year. Last I went to my staff and said I had bad news. We only came in number 2 on the best places to live out of 750 cities in the United States. But we take, this is not a contest you enter, this is something they just do, and they have different data points they look at, of course. But we're able to take that statistic and use it when we do our marketing on the East Coast and the West Coast, a place called Chicago off the road that people are trying to get out of. But it's important that we tell Central Indiana and Carmel's story across the country and across the globe, quite honestly. We work very hard at that, and that's where you come in. You are the first people many of our new residents are going to see. And many times you're going to talk to them before they've decided which job they're going to take and which city they're going to go to. So being able to talk to them about how great Central Indiana and Carmel, Indiana are is important. Having good statistics. We talk financially about it. Our bond ratings, the top 25% of cities in the country, in spite of the fact they're growing, putting hundreds of $millions into infrastructure and bike paths, all these things a growing city needs. Our tax rates are among the lowest anywhere in the United States and Indiana. Our sewer, sanitary sewer, and water rates are among the lowest anywhere. And we track those things. We've been tracking some houses since 1998. There were Paul Esther Jr. homes, and a lot of times these records aren't available, so we're fortunate we've done it every year since 1998. One of those houses was worth $100,000, 4-bedroom, 2-story house, double-car garage, and half an acre or so. That house in 1998 cost about $100,000. It was paying almost $3,200 in Carmel tax. Today, that same house is worth $300,000, roughly $320,000. You're only paying $1,800 in tax. And that's before you apply inflation to $41. So a huge decrease, but that's because we worked so hard with the efficiencies and our 150-some corporate headquarters in Carmel. A lot of you may not know, but our population actually goes way up in the daytime, almost by 50% over a nighttime population. And so we're providing services to a much larger population in the daytime. The nighttime needs hospital rooms, policing, water, sewer, all the things that cities do to create a high quality of life. We have a lot of information available in City Hall that can help you with statistics and numbers, great marketing pieces. We supply a lot of realtors, come by and get copies of things. We have all sorts of information that can help your clients understand Carmel better and talk about things that are happening. Just this weekend, we try to also have a lot of events, make it a fun place to be. That's important. Just this weekend, we have our plein air paint out, French for open air painting. So we have artists coming from all over the Midwest. They're going to paint outside within about a 4-block area, so people can walk around and watch them painting. Then we'll have an awards ceremony Sunday evening. Meet me on Main Saturday night at 9, big street dance. And that's just this weekend. We've also focused so much of our economic development. Indianapolis traditionally has done so much for professional and amateur sports, and it's been a great economic development play for the city of Indianapolis over the years. We thought we could make an impact in the region by investing heavily in the arts. So we built a Palladium, one of 20 true concert halls in the United States. Many small theaters, we have 2 owned by the city and another handful of theaters owned by other organizations around the area, about to announce a new one, in fact. And so we have this emphasis. We know Michael Feinstein's club. You know, there's 4 in the United States: New York, LA, San Francisco, and Carmel, Indiana. Which is, you know, it's old-fashioned cabaret dinner and a show afterwards. Our room in the Hotel Carmichael is a copy of the room at West 54th in New York City. Except ours is a little better because it's modern. That's an old building there. That's the mayor's job, #1 cheerleader. But we're also working hard on the Museum of the Great American Songbook, which is that genre of music, Gershwin's up to 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, the Broadway show tunes. Cole Porter and Hoagie Carmichael from Indiana. And, you know, Nashville, Tennessee has a country museum. Cleveland has a rock and roll museum. So we'll have the Great American Songbook Museum right across the Palladium. We're excited about that project and the national reach it will have in bringing visitors to this area. So our arts initiatives have worked out very well for us. We contribute 1% of our general revenues each year to the arts. A lot of organizations, we also believe, make our city beautiful with lots of public art installations, all different sorts of genre. And, you know, we put up one sculpture recently, a lot of people didn't like it. We have all sorts of different styles of art. I didn't particularly like it either. But I thought, I was on social media, I thought, how nice this is that we're fighting over different styles of art, as opposed to other things we could be fighting about, like most cities. And so Carmel's a great place. You're going to be able to sell our city. We are there to help you. Come by the office. We have all sorts of information, and keep doing what you're doing. You do a wonderful job representing our city. Thank you.